Pinocchio. Once upon a time, in a small village in the mountains, lived a carpenter called Geppetto, who did not have any children. Feeling lonely, he took a piece of wood and built a beautiful puppet he called Pinocchio. I'd really like for it to be alive, he sighed, looking at his creation. That very night, the sweet blue fairy appeared and gave life to the puppet. She told him that she would return. She would turn him into a real child the day he will prove to be a good boy. The next day, Geppetto was very glad to find his puppet alive, and he decided to send him to school. He also sold his coat to buy his school book. But Pinocchio, who did not have any desire to study, sold his book and bought a ticket to go and see the puppet show. At the show, the puppets were very happy to meet Pinocchio and gave a big party for him. But the puppeteer got angry about the chaos and sent Pinocchio away, giving him a few coins as a reward. The blue fairy asked him about the coins to see if he was honest. But Pinocchio started to tell her lies, and with every lie, his nose grew longer. On his way home, Pinocchio met Cat and Fox, two big tricksters who said to him, "Trust us and your gold coins will soon multiply. You just have to bury them in this field and within a few hours a money tree will grow." Pinocchio did as Cat and Fox told him and fell asleep while he waited for the money tree to grow. But when he woke up, he found himself tied to a tree and the coins had disappeared. "Poor me," he shouted. "I have been robbed." The fairy loved him and decided to give him another chance. She convinced him to return home and go to school right away. But Pinocchio, who was disobedient once again, met Beanpole, the laziest of his companions, who convinced him to go to Toyland, where all the children had fun without the parents knowing. Once there, the two kids were turned into donkeys and thrown into the sea. Pinocchio was at the mercy of the waves when a big whale swallowed him up. Imagine his surprise when he found his beloved father in the stomach of the beast. The carpenter had arrived there while he was desperately looking for him. All at once the whale sneezed, and Pinocchio and Geppetto found themselves in the middle of the sea. Free at last, Pinocchio helped his father to reach the shore and get safe. The time had come to turn over a new leaf. This time Pinocchio, who had learned his lessons, found his school book and returned to school, convinced to behave himself and not listen to untrue friends. Suddenly, the blue fairy appeared and said, "Well done, you have finally learned your lesson. Now that you are a good boy, I can give you the greatest gift. You'll be a child like all the others." Pinocchio could not believe his eyes and ran to look at himself in the mirror. He had become a real child in flesh and blood. He ran to Geppetto, who could not hold back his tears of joy, and from that day on, they never left each other again. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel.